Hey everyone, it's Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy, and I am back with a tutorial for Paper Rose Lakeside Memories collections. I made this cardstock folio and I did a walkthrough, but now I'm going to do a tutorial. The tutorial will be done in black cardstock. I just like it better. I like it better done in black. I don't know why. But I will have another video showing how I paper matted this actual one. Just because I know you guys ask for it a lot, and I don't necessarily always do the paper matting, but thought I would do a little bit of it with you. So this is a 7x7 cardstock folio. We're gonna go ahead and get started, but just know, sorry, it's a little darker than normal. I'm in my regular craft room filming because my filming room is way too hot. This week's gonna be a scorcher. It's gonna be an ice in your bra kind of week. Just saying, here in Washington State. But we're gonna go through what you need. It's a fairly easy album to put together. And let me grab the pieces here. And you'll have to excuse my voice. I just got back from a retreat and yeah, it's totally gone. So for the cover, you will need a piece that is 12 by 8. And oh no, I didn't put on there. You will score, hold on one second. This is on 12, and then this will be on the 8. So we'll do the scoring together, but just so you guys can take a picture, this is what you will need there. The other part of that cover is right here. This version, I've done a lot of cardstock folios, and some I do like this where I give us a nice beveled edge around the whole cardstock, or you could just cut your cardstock to size, if you want to do something like that, instead of having where we're going to wrap our edges, you would just have a piece that is 12 by 7, for example, and then 8 1/4 by 7, I believe still would be the same measurements. Nope, it'd be 8 1/4 by 7 1/2. If you don't like having a clean edge, like I'm gonna show you with this version. So you'll have those two there. And then on the inside cover, we will have one piece that is 4 1/4 by 12, and there's the scores. And then another piece that is 4 1/4 by 12, and we connect these two together. And then the photo mat for that is in here somewhere. Oh my goodness. Hold on. 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. That goes on the inside cover underneath this mechanism here. On the front cover, sorry, let's backtrack for a second. We have these photo spots right here and right here. So that piece is 11 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then you'll have another piece that you glue on top of that. That is 6 1/2 by 4 1/4. And I did punch out 4 like tab punches. You don't have to use these at all, and you could use ribbon or you could leave it plain, but just in case you want to see how I put these on there, I will show you. And let me move this out of the way here. Okay, then next for the page build, so the page mechanism is just this, and then we just add things to it. So it is one piece that is 12 by 6 1/2. Excuse my scribble. And then here are the scoring measurements for this piece. So I labeled this B, and then the components are either like B1, B2, B3 based on like the page. So on the front, when this is like this, we're gonna do B1 is 4 3/4 by 5 1/2, and you just score 1/2 on that 4 3/4 side. Then we have B2 has a top flap that is 4 1/8 by 6, right there. Then we have a bottom pocket for bead 2. Oops, I didn't write the measurements down for that. Hold on. See, I'm just not on my game right now. 3 3/4 by 6. Hold on, 6 5/8, I think. Yeah. Okay, so 6 5/8 by 3 3/4, I think I said. Yes. So there is that measurement. This is so easy to put together, seriously. There's a photo mat in there for bead 2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. And a lot of these measurements are based on like some of the cut aparts in the Paper Rose collections. So the pattern paper. So if you want yours different, think about that. Like as you're putting yours together, you might want yours a little bit different. Oh, wait, B3. There was a photo mat, 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Then on the very back, B4, so like page 4 in theory, is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And that is it. You can add more. There's scraps left. You can add more to your pockets and really build it up if you want to. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So there's no chipboard in this project. And I have the AC off in this room. So I'm going to try to get through this video, 1, without coughing, 2, without having to turn the AC on, just because it's going to be really loud. So let's see how we do. Okay, so starting with the cover. So you have your cover there, and with the 12 going across, we're going to score at 3/4 because we have a 3/4 inch spine. Then we're going to score at 7 3/4. Rotate our paper and score 1/2 inch on each end. So 1/2 inch and 7 1/2. Set that aside. Now we will come in with the 8 1/4 by 8. And with the 8 1/4, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 7 1/2. I have to flip mine over because my scores are actually going the other way. And then with the, nope, this way. Let me make sure I did that right. Yes, that was right. Okay, and then with the 8 going across, we're going to score 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. So basically, this piece has a 1/2 inch on 3 sides and then a 3 inch spine. That's where we're going to attach all of this. So let's get these put together. We're going to miter the corners. So on the 1/2 inch where the 2 1/2 inch meet up, just cut right through that intersection, or miter however you like to miter. So you have that. Do not miter these yet, because we are going to come in. We will miter this one like that, just up to that 3/4 inch. There's a miter, and I have to flip it around when I'm doing it. Then you'll miter this one. Maybe if I could see. Okay, so it looks like that. Or you can come in and fold. I don't know why I just did that. No, other way. Other way, Tiffany. Other way. Let me get it a good burnish first. So we have this folded right now. This is our 3/4 inch here. And we are just going to come in right there and miter and take that little pipe piece out there. I like doing it more this way. This is faster. I don't know. I always feel like I have a little nubby nub when I do it the other way, which I do right now. Not that it really matters. I just, you know, I like my projects to be as clean as possible. And we'll miter this corner here. And all we're doing is just strengthening our ends of the cardstock album, and it gives a clean finished edge by doing this. So here are all our folds. Just so you can see how it's coming together. Then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. This is our spine. So this one we're just going to go ahead and cut off the rectangle right here. And let's miter this one. So see how it's at an angle. Come in. I always go to the right side of the bump. This one I cut on the left side of the bump. Just so I know that it will match up, or at least attempt to. You'll find out, and if it doesn't, you could trim off a little more once you get everything folded up. So same thing here. Oh, this is gonna be a pocket, but we're gonna still miter this. I'll give you an option if you guys want to. No, I think I left it on there. I did. Never mind that. Never mind. I remember when I was making this, I was thinking, do I need to keep this fold because we have the fold from the pocket we're going to use as like so like a gusseted pocket? But I do keep it because I want the rest of it to be finished off. You guys will know what I mean in just a minute. So fold this in, burnish. I'm sorry if it has a little bit of a shaky camera. I do want to make sure I'm off good enough so that it will fold up nice right there. I gotta pay attention because it's easy for me to go off the screen with this camera set up. Okay, so we're looking like this right now. We're gonna glue this down, and then you'll still glue this on top of there, and that's gonna create our pocket. And let's finish, let's fold this. And I do want to clean up my cuts a little bit. Okay, let's see. I might have to trim this down a little bit. No, it doesn't have to go like that. Silly girl, never mind. Let's just make sure this, we are good. Okay. And then I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not overlapping on the score line. That will fold up nicely. So we have these little flaps. So this one is gonna go on the inside. This one will be the outside. And I'm just matching up to that fold. And then we'll glue these over. But I could already tell this does need a little bit of trimming because you could see it buckling right there. And that just means it needs a little sliver taken off. Okay, now let's just double check. That's why you dry fit. It's hard for me to see on this table. Okay, we have it all in there, nice and even. Let me make sure I'm gonna come up just a little bit. There we go. So fold that over, fold over, that will work. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fold up all the sides first, then we'll do the spine last. See if I can get my glue out. I know it's gonna like go crazy on me because it was on the plane. I didn't get a chance to film, there we go, the tutorial part before I left for my retreat. So Okay, I think we're good. Because it was on the plane, it might get a little cray-cray. Come on, stick down. Here we go. I'm gonna do both sides and then I'll do this side here. Okay, I need to get my other bone folder. Hold on. Hold please. That's what I'm always saying on all of these videos. I really hope that you guys can see okay. Fold that up with that glue set up. Just like so. Okay, so set that piece aside with our little flaps open. Now we're gonna do this side. So we're gonna do the two large ones. Sorry for shaking the camera. Okay, that is done. And then we'll do the pocket. Clean that up just a little bit. Okay, so again, I'm just going to test to make sure. I think I'm going to take off a little bit more. Just for a cleaner fold. Okay. Yes, that's good enough. I don't like those little nubbies. Because I'm weird. Now just add your adhesive, not on the inside, on the outside this time, because we want to have a gusseted pocket. Okay, now fold these over. And if you want to make this size or style in a chipboard, you can. You would just need 2 pieces that are 7 by 7 for the front and back cover, and then a chipboard piece that is 3/4 of an inch by 7 for the spine. And then you'd have to wrap that using whatever traditional cover method you like to use when wrapping chipboard. Some like lay flat, some do not. Okay. Okay, so that is now finished. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this together. So again, I'm just going to make sure it lines up where it's supposed to, since I trimmed a little bit off. And that is where it's going to go. So let's get some, I think I'm going to put some score tape here. So hold one sec. just so I don't have any glue seeping out. There we go, and I need my little pokey tool. Still gonna add some wet adhesive to it. And a bead on there, just to give me a little more wiggle room. And get it in there, and do not go on the side of, it's hard to see, of your score line. You want to keep it to the right of that bump. So again, I'm lining up as much as I can, making sure that we are straight. Need to come up a little bit. Before that glue sets up, I got to get it in place. I should say in the correct place. There we go. Good enough. Burnish that down. Then we will wrap around our little flappy doos. You do not have to do this part if you don't want to. It could just be wrapped before. But I like to, again, just keep that finished edge going all the way throughout. There we go. And I think I'm going to, on this one, just to see. So for this original, the cardstock that I used is a little thicker than like my normal like 85-pound cardstock that I use. This one is the base. I did do 100-pound cardstock. You don't have to, because I mean, once you get paper on and everything, it does get really nice and sturdy. But if you want your spine, I see a little nubby. If you want your spine to really be sturdy and you like that feel of chipboard, then, because we already have 2 layers here, and on this one I did not mat, and I probably still will. I kind of liked it, wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but you can mat this spine, and I didn't do it on, oh, I did do it on the inside as well. This one we're not going to, but I am going to just get a strip of cardstock and sturdy this up a little bit more, just to see. So I want a little bit less than 3/4 of an inch by 7. So hold on, I'm gonna cut that, and then we'll get that on there. So I'm gonna go right about there. Let's just, and I'll let you guys know if I like that better. I might need to take a little bit more off. I think I do. Just a little. Okay. So I am going to add this. I just want to make sure. I'm going to take, once things like fold up, it changes the measurements just a smidgen. So if this was here, will I have room still to fold? I'm going to take another sliver, which ends up not really being a sliver because I keep taking more off. I don't want to chance it not folding nicely. You guys know I don't cut straight, so I have to even this up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to get my glue. We're going to put this little baby on. Okay. Just like that. down she goes. So I'll let you guys know if I like that better. But I'm pretty sure I will like it just with one more, just at least for the spine. One more little piece. Okay. So, do we fold up? Yes, we do. All is good. There we go. Now, for the front, and I'm just going to use my repositional runner. I have to see where I actually like have it. Because, where did I put it? I know it's here. I brought all my craft supplies up to my room to put away. I just haven't put them away yet. But this is going to go on our front cover. It'll be like that. Then this one, and we just scored these both in half. So this was scored at 5 3/4. This one is scored at 3 1/4 in half. Just creating little photo booklets. And I did use magnets on these. Where is my... Okay, hold on. I know it's here. Because I remember pulling it out. Oh, well. And yes, I do have stuff all over the floor once I started unpacking. So I'm just going to use this one. Oops, wrong way. So I just centered this, put it on. Then we did magnet. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, like that. I glued on one of the tabs, which is kind of hard to see, but we're just gonna glue it just right, somewhat in the center. If you're someone who loves it to be exact, then go ahead and measure yours. Find the center. That is not the center. That is a little bit better, and we're gonna go with it. Wait, did I have that on there? Nope, I didn't even have it on this one. So take that off right now. Rewind. It was just on the little one. Okay, so little one gets it. I'm never centered. I'm just lazy and don't like always finding the center. Okay, we're gonna use our little tape. Then this goes in the center as well. I know it's hard to see, but this is what it looks like here. Then we open up to our back, and we have our two pieces that we're going to use, the A's. For the left inside cover, one piece you are going to score at 6 1/4. The other piece you're going to score at a soft score, is what I put on there, at a 1/2 inch, just lightly. Then you could do regular score at 1 inch, 1 1/8, 1 5/8, and no, 1 3/8, 1 3/8, and oh my gosh, you guys, 7 3/8. Tiffany can't talk, and 7 1/2. There we go. And the soft score is just a guide for us to extend this flip. So you'll see in just a second. So now with that piece where we have the soft 1/2 inch score, you're gonna take the smaller side. So this is 6 1/4 the top, This is 5 3/4 down here. So the 5 3/4 we are going to glue to this 1/2 inch down here. That soft score is just a guide to tell us to stop. There we go. So the smaller side goes down, find your guide. You can miter these corners if you want to. Leave them straight. It does not really matter, but if you're someone who does not like seeing the seams, then you would go ahead and miter just the corners on that 1/2 inch. Just want to make sure that it's somewhat straight. It's probably better to put this like in your scoreboard. And what I mean by that, let's see if it would even work. I don't know if it will fit. Oh yeah, it does fit. You can line it up like this and make sure it's even. Okay. So we have this. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cough right now. Ignore the soft score. That was just a fakeroo. And try to make sure you stay lined up. And you should have an 1/8 of an inch gusset. This paper rose collection is so pretty. It could be used for so many things. Okay. And fold down. And fold like so. There you go. So you could fold, then fold, and you have your magnet again. It's here and here. If you want to use a magnet, you do not have to. I did use a tab on this. And again, I just find the center. You can use any tab punch. You could use a circle punch, cut it in half. You can cut a square, fold it in half, and round the corners of it. You don't have to have all the tools. You can make your own things and it still works out and looks awesome. So it'll fold up like this. Now I think I'm pretty good. Yeah, sometimes, depending upon your score and everything, it might, this might impede on this a little bit. It's still okay. Or if your paper, let's say, was like off a smidgen of what the measurement is, you might want to just take a little bit off the bottom here, just a sliver, but it still works either way. So we have our piece, looks like this, folded up, and we're just going to glue this. You can, let's see. So I just glued it top and bottom to create like a belly band. And I put it just in the center. Let me get this on there a little bit better. I just have my temporary glue runner. So just like that. And then you take your 4x6 photo mat that I put somewhere. There you are. That will slide in there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's in there. Okay, and then we have our page piece. Sorry, I had to take a drink before I choked. Okay, so we have our page piece. This gets scored. I already scored this one and folded it because I forgot I was actually prepping for a tutorial and just started making a project. But with the 12 across, you will score at 5 5/8, 5 7/8, 6 1/8, and 6 3/8. And those are weird measurements, but it's only because your girl is lazy and did not want to trim the 12, you know, at the 12. Like, just leave it at the 12. I'm just lazy. That's all it comes down to. So we have a weird page, a weird measurement, I should say, for our pages. It's okay. No waste over here. Then this flap, we scored 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 side, or it could be score at 4 1/4 if you don't like using the 1/2 inch. Oh, that was loud. Okay, we're gonna glue this down like so. And I'm just finding the center again. So B1 goes on the first page, which is the front here. So we have our nice little flap. You will, if you want to use magnets, add a magnet here, and then of course a magnet here. So it flips over like that. You have a tab. I think I'm short a tab, but you guys get the gist of the tabs. And just put those on there. Again, try to center it. And it looks like this. Let me just grab a sheet here, just so you guys can see what it's looking like. So should look like that. Okay, then we open up, and for this one we have, this is all of our B2s we're pulling together right now. Let's put our pocket on first. So cut through the intersection of the score lines. I don't think I cut that very good. Cut through again. Then the tops, you don't have to do this part, but I do. It does not ruin a project if you don't miter, just so you know. Fold. Fold. And fold. Do a dry fit first to make sure all is good. Mine is a little bit bigger, but I'm rolling with it. It's just a smidgen. What's most important is that you don't go beyond the score line right here, but we have an extra gusset for our pages to lay a little bit flatter. So it's all good. I'm gonna just add to the bottom first and get that on there. So again, making sure I stay on the left side of this score line over here, and that I'm not going below the page, that we are lined up down here nicely. Yes, that looks good. Open, and I'm going to burnish. I like to add just some tape when I remember. Just so when I tuck something in the pocket, it helps it not to get stuck. But if you put your pattern paper all the way down to the bottom, then you'll be just fine. I'm just cheap and I don't like wasting paper. And nobody sees all the way to the bottom of my pocket. So we're adding adhesive now to the sides. And if you notice, when I put my tape on, I don't crease it or burnish it around where the cardstock is, where the bump is. I just do it at the very top and the very bottom to seal it, the tape up. Because otherwise you just create another bump and your paper will get stuck anyways. If you do it around the crease. Or I should say maybe the seam. I don't know what that's called. You guys know what I mean. Okay, let me just clean up this glue. I don't like seeing wet glue. Oops. Okay. This part, 4 1/8 by 6. On the 6, you're just going to score it a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to miter these corners. Oopsie. Okay. And come in, find your center before you stick it all down, like so. And then back. There we go. Okay, and again, this is where if you want to put a magnet, you would write, you know, just to remind yourself. And this is what it's looking like so far. I do have a tab, and I am short a tab. I was right. I forgot the front. I will probably use Paper Rose Christmas on this one, since I now have a second album ready to use. And I'm gonna have some Christmas and July stuff coming up here. It'll either be that or Summerween, Halloween stuff, because I'm doing both. Now that I'm not doing all these retreats, well, I do have one. I'm going to a small one in August. Okay, so that is done, and we have a photo mat. So we wrote down this one. Goes right in our handy dandy pocket, right there. Boop, boop. Then this one, B3, I had, and I show it in the paper matting. Where's our book? I just cut a slit right here and created a little tuck spot for this photo mat to go in. So I'm just going to temporarily stick this right here so I know that goes with that page when I go to mat this one. And then we have our back, and that's it, you guys. That's it. Hold on. Okay. And oh, on this one, I didn't say where we scored, but it's a 1/2 inch on the 3 3/4 side, I believe. Yes, score a 1/2 inch on the 3 3/4 side. Then we just find our middle, get her into place. Like so. Okay, and then this is where you would add another tab right here and a magnet. We're gonna go ahead and stick this in our little folio. So if you wanted to mat right here like I did in the original, before you put your page piece down, you would mat this first and then put this in. But I'm just going to stick it in, and I'm going to leave this black. So you're just putting adhesive on this 1/4 inch section. And be a lot neater and tidy than I am. I don't know what it is. When I get to doing a tutorial using the wet glue, I am cray-cray. Okay, so I'm gonna open mine up. You can put yours down like this if that's easier for you to find your center. You can use your, where's mine? Well, you can use your mat if that helps you to find like the center of where to place everything. Ooh, my hands are all. So you can use your mat. This is right there in between the two, lining it up, kind of, sort of. There we go. And then I'm just making sure I'm somewhat even top and bottom, kind of lining up with those white lines. So you have about 1/4 of an inch top and bottom. I mean, mine's not totally centered as always, but good enough. I'm telling you, once you get stuff in, people don't notice that stuff. We just do because we're all crazy. I think my dog is barking at another dog outside. Hold on. Let me check. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Like that. And like that. And we are finished. So I'm just double checking. We have a little photo in here. I do like it definitely with that extra piece. Feels good on the spine. But you could do it how you like. But there you guys go. Check out the other video. I do have another video showing the how to mat this, or I think I do most of it with you. But yeah, there you go. So I do have everything in the description box. My referral link to Paper Rose Studio, where you can find all their paper. They have so much paper, amazing stuff. So they have paper, they have dies, there's solid cardstock, card kits, which I will be doing a card kit in this collection. I can't wait. So stay tuned for that. But you'll definitely want to go check some things out. And if you do, and I inspire you to make a purchase, please use my referral link in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Bye.